gentlemen, my name is Ashu Mishra and I'm Vice President at virtualemployee.com. Today I've come all the way from India to Dallas, Texas to meet one of our esteemed clients, Mr. David Nguyen. He's an attorney at law and owner of the Law Win Center. He hired a paralegal through us. So today what we're going to learn in this case study that India, which is renowned for its IT outsourcing, can also be a successful destination for non-IT work like legal. So let's go inside and meet David. Hi David, first of all, big thank you for agreeing to share your experience over this video case study and seeing us in your Dallas office.
You're welcome. I'm glad to have you here.
So to begin with, David, could you please introduce yourself and your company?
My name's David Nguyen. I'm the managing attorney at the Nguyen Law Firm. We're a family law firm in Fort Worth, Texas. We have 5 attorneys that specialize in divorce and child custody.
What services have you taken from Virtual Employee?
I contracted with Virtual Employee, I guess it was about a year ago initially, and I was asking for a paralegal to work at night. So we would send assignments over at the end of the workday, and the next morning the assignments would be completed and returned to us via email.
How were you working prior to taking our services?
Prior to taking your services, I had all of my paralegals were in-house. They worked here at the office or in the Grapevine location, and I had 1 paralegal per attorney.
Okay. And what led you consider offshoring?
I was looking for the opportunity to have an off-site location where a paralegal was working in an uninterrupted environment, no phone calls, no interruptions from other employees, so they could focus on the task of document production.
Okay. Was there any specific reason you chose India?
The main thing that attracted me to India was the English language was well spoken by Indians, and we were able to communicate effectively. Stability of India was a factor.
Okay. And why did you decide to partner with Virtual Employee?
When I decided to have a virtual employee, I researched who were the best providers, and I found y'all along with some others. After researching and talking to y'all, I realized that y'all were the perfect fit for my company. I became very comfortable with Virtual Employee and the system that you had in place.
Okay.
And the personnel there were very helpful in meeting my needs.
Okay. And had you ever outsourced or offshore before?
No, sir. This was the first experience I've had with offshore.
So did you have any apprehensions or concerns, about offshoring?
I had concerns regarding whether your company was reputable, whether it was a rip-off, or if y'all were going to provide the service. And you did. You came through and gave me everything and more than I asked for. Another concern I had was the ability of the foreign worker to handle the job assignments, and I worried about the English translation issues. And that was initially a concern, but I quickly realized it was no issue at all, and the employee was able to communicate with my staff, and the communication back and forth was smooth. After working with y'all, I realized quickly all of those fears had no merit. Y'all are very trustworthy.
Okay.
Never had a problem with billing or any business-related issues with y'all. You're always very pleasant to deal with. The employee was very hardworking, very dedicated, wanting to learn more, very pleasant to work with, and spoke very good English.
So your concerns and apprehensions, were they unfounded?
They were. Y'all are a very trustworthy company. There were never issues involving payment or money or billing. Everything was on the up and up. There was no communication barrier between my office and the virtual employee. The virtual employee was able to communicate effectively in English. Absolutely no problems.
Okay. And what do you think were the advantages of working with a virtual employee?
Well, the advantages, first from a human resource standpoint, I didn't have to worry about payroll. Y'all handle all of the human resource issues. I just pay the fee that I contracted with y'all,
Yes.
and that's it. So that eliminates some burden. Financially, it's cheaper than having an employee in-house. And the biggest advantage was what I really wanted, and that was having that person able to work uninterrupted. They got the work assignments, they completed them, sent them back. Where with an employee here, you've got the lunch breaks, you've got the daily routine things that come up and interrupt the workflow. By using the virtual employee, the workflow was smooth, and we didn't have all those daily problems that you have with managing employees.
How did you find the results of working with a virtual employee?
The results were very, very good. After a short period of time, the employee was able to pick up on the work and get the assignments back in a timely manner and in a good manner. The product was what I wanted. The ability for that paralegal to work uninterrupted made that position more productive. The results were great. I was able to increase productivity and decrease my expenses.
How did you and your staff work with the virtual employee, sitting in India office?
We worked primarily through email. At the end of the day, we would send a work assignment to the employee, and they're almost 12 hours behind, so when he would get the work assignment, it would be at the end of our work day, the beginning of his work day. And then when he would leave at the end of the day, he would send the product back. We would receive that via email.
And would you elaborate a little bit, or provide us some more details what exactly a virtual employee was doing?
The virtual employee was doing document production for attorneys. The attorney would send out a work assignment for a document that they needed produced, and the virtual employee would draft the documents. We were able to interchange he was able to access our files remotely, so the information he needed to prepare the documents was available. And then he would return the finished work product to the attorney that requested the assignment.
Yeah, and Nguyen, would you recommend virtual employee services?
Absolutely, I would.
Is there anything else you would like to add for our viewers?
Just, it was a pleasant experience overall. Your staff was very helpful. Anytime there were issues, they were quick to fix the problem. The employee was very anxious to meet our needs and to help us, and he was wanting to learn. Very good employee. I just want to thank y'all for taking me as a client and letting me use your services. It was really beneficial to my firm.
Thanks, David. Thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure meeting you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So in conclusion today, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this case study provides you a good insight that you can successfully outsource non-IT work to India as well. And I hope this case study will help you make an informed decision while looking for your offshoring partner. Best of luck with your search, and thank you very much for watching.